This week on Dateline Abuja, we're taking a look at the failure of local governments to meet up with their responsibilities. A lot is blamed for this failure, most importantly its lack of autonomy financially. Our feature story takes us to Wulomo community near the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, a community crumbling under the weight of poor local government management and a lack of infrastructure that should make any government very ashamed. Helping us navigate local government autonomy issues today is our guest, Comrade Ambali Olatunji, the president of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Nagwa. We kick off the program with a look at some of the major stories in the nation's capital this week.
President Muhammadu Buhari is back in the country after attending the African Finance Summit in Paris, France. Aside the summit, the president engaged in various bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the summit. Still in the diplomatic circles, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo met with the special envoy of President Adama Barrow of the Gambia, Mr. Mamadou Tangara. Professor Osinbajo promised that Nigeria will continue to support the aspirations and activities of the government and people of the Gambia. In the meantime, the Vice President presided over a virtual National Economic Council meeting. The Council received an update on the Federation accounts from the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning. She also gave a report on the financial statement of Nigeria's Sovereign Investment Authority. Meanwhile, Professor Osinbajo joined other Christian faithful as he attended the National Prayer Breakfast meeting. At the meeting, Professor Osinbajo observed that the clouds, which he said are presently covering the nation, would soon be replaced by a glorious morning. The Senate is planning to hold regional constitution review sessions next week. The Red Chamber adjourned plenary as the Senate President, Senator Ahmed Lawan, said the National Assembly holds no predetermined position on any issue ahead of plans to amend the 1999 Constitution.
This is a very important exercise for our country, and I will take this opportunity to appeal to all Nigerians who have one issue or the other that they think the Constitution Review Committee of the Senate should know and take note and address. It's an opportunity to go to the center nearest to you. We are open. We are plain. We don't have any preconceived or predetermined positions on anything. The numerous issues that Nigerians feel should be addressed to make Nigeria better, to make citizens cured, and enhance the welfare of our people are upmost in our consideration. Because of this so important assignment by this very important committee of the Senate will suspend plenary throughout next week. This is to enable not only the committee members, but the rest of us who are not even members of the Constitution Review Committee to participate in the exercise.
The federal government says the public central register of all company beneficial owners in the country will be concluded by the end of 2021 as part of efforts to curb illicit financial flows and ensure transparency in activities of companies. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, disclosed this at a media presentation of the Beneficial Ownership Transparency Policy.
As a leader in the Open Government Partnership, there is a clear global interest in what we do with regards to this register. And this is our opportunity to share our process for others, especially countries in Africa looking to build similar registers. Our promise is to ensure commitment to implementing progressive ideas that would ensure sustainable transparency and national development.
The federal government has announced a takeoff of the new national carrier by first quarter of 2022. Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, told State House correspondents at a briefing after the Federal Executive Council meeting that there was a forced postponement of the planned dates for its establishment owing to the COVID-19 pandemic.
We went to Council to approve the outline business case for the carrier. And then the council raised some questions and asked us to go and fair the memo again and bring it back. So once it comes back and the outline business case is approved by council, then of course we will now go to the full business case, which is now going to the market and then, establishing the national carrier.
After 3 days of strike and protest by members of the Nigeria Labour Congress in Kaduna State, the federal government finally sealed a truce between the workers and the state government to resolve the impasse. Minister of Labour and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, told journalists after mediating a meeting with the labour leaders and representatives of the Kaduna State government in Abuja as the parties agree to set up a 10-man committee to address the issues.
The meeting resolved 1, to constitute a 10-man bipartite committee to resolve this impasse between the state government and the NLC.
Staying with labour disputes, the courts in Nigeria will remain closed until after the next monthly Federation Accounts Allocation Committee. This is one of the critical decisions reached at the second conciliation meeting between the federal government, judiciary and parliamentary workers who have been on strike since April.
The Chief Justice of the Federation is the head of the third arm of government, the judiciary. And as you all know, the judiciary workers are on strike. And therefore, some of the issues raised there, vis-à-vis the autonomy of the judiciary, for which they went on this strike, things that I need to discuss with Milord, the CJN, who is the head of the judiciary and who is in charge of also the NJC, which by the constitutional provision is supposed to do the funding of the courts in both the federal and the states. We're meeting with the judiciary workers soon on Thursday. The Secretary of NJC, we're going to another meeting now with other members of the Presidential Implementation Committee for that 10 and the autonomy of judiciary and legislature. We're going to a government side meeting now. So we'll fine-tune some of the things we got here. We'll crystallize them all. And also meet with the governors again tomorrow. So by next week, I'm very optimistic that by next week, we'll put an end to this.
The federal government has confirmed the receipt of about £4.2 million recovered from former Governor James Ibori of Delta State. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, who made the confirmation, said the money had been credited into a designated federal government account since May 10.
Welcome back. Local governments were created to help Nigerians at all levels. The need for government presence at the grassroots level cannot be overemphasized. It helps with infrastructure growth and security. This week, we visit Wulomo community in the Abuja Municipal Area Council. This community is located just in front of the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport and is famous for poor infrastructure and an incredible lack of government presence.
The struggle for a decent living is worsened by the lack of basic amenities like potable water and electricity in Wulomo community, a settlement which is a stone throw from the Abuja airport. Years of neglect by the government towards the exasperating conditions found here has compelled more people to register their complaints. After walking miles just to get access to water, Mark Fred Udenze, a resident pastor here, shares some disturbing stories.
This is the only water they have, and that is the only water they drink. If you take it, the next thing is to be urinating blood. So these are the major challenge we have, water and that of light. That one is so secondary because I have written to the AMAC chairman 3 times, no reply. I've written to Philip Adudua, the FCT senator, leading me is one custom officer that was posted here then, and all of no avail. The most painful aspect is the councillor, Sunday Biko. He has been my friend right from when I was living in Toge, in his community. And when he was canvassing for the councillorship, I did all my best to make sure that everyone in the community voted for him, and he was voted for, and he won the election. But up to this very moment I'm talking to you, Sunday has not done anything. There is no government presence at all in Wulomo village.
54-year-old chief of Wulomo, Agura Mohammed, now retired, expresses profound concerns through his son over the uneven treatment they are subjected to by politicians.
su gaya muna wai gashi bayan sun ci zaɓen ga abin da za a yi muna bayan sun ci zaɓen kuma ba za mu gan su ba ba su yi muna abin da muke so ba sun ci zaɓen sun wuce kenan gashi nan muna sha wahala ba wuta kusa shekara 3 kenan muna garin nan ba wuta ba hanya ba mu da ruwa ba boho.
Apparently, there's a gross lack of compliance to the COVID-19 protocols, and incidentally, there are neither cases nor deaths.
COVID-19 dai ya zo a 2020 abi shine gwamnati ya zo da ikon Allah dai a nan namu dai nan area namu airport Allah ya sire muna ba mu gwamnati ba.
Wulomo community, famous for its lack of health facilities, power supply, good roads and schools, ironically sits just opposite the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport.
We are close to presidential where our president diverting to anywhere you want to go. Why they no one give us light for this place? If you have funded, let them tell us, see where on our fault.
When Channels Television contacted the Abuja Municipal Area Council, the head of Works Department, Mr. Andrew Gaza, who declined to speak on camera, said provision for water and electricity has been made for the community in the 2021 budget. He adds that plans are on the way to address some of the infrastructure challenges in the community. However, the authorities are expecting the residents to use some of the infrastructure in neighboring communities, pending when the area council is able to fulfill the promise of addressing the infrastructure. Challenges like this reflects the long-time negligence of the government towards this section of the people in a democratic setup, which clearly questions the ongoing development process by the government, and that clearly leaves a lot to be desired.
There's a nationwide consensus that if local governments had more autonomy and were not just appendages of state governors, we might see more development at that level. And our guest on the program agrees with this. Comrade Ambali Olatunji is the president of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees and has vowed to actualize local government autonomy by any means necessary. Comrade Olatunji, welcome to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you very much.
I want to talk to you about autonomy and why it's so important. You know, we're looking at local government autonomy, of course. You vowed when you came into office that you would ensure that we have local government autonomy in this country. Why is local government autonomy so important?
We are key players when it comes to practitioners in local government system. And we've been there over years. We have seen a lot of improvement and retrogression when it comes to policies of assault. For us in local government system, we believe that local government is the most strategic system of government, the closest most important, most relevant tier of government to the people, because that's a point of contact between Nigerian people and governance. Most Nigerian people has no access to modern system of government. So for us, we also did a demographic survey that came out to say that over 65% of Nigerian population reside in the rural areas. So which means we only have about 30% residing in within the cosmopolitan city. And democracy, if it's about the given dividends of democracy to the people, it must target the larger percentage of the people. So for us, once the foundation is weak, the building cannot stand. The first and the most important, according to history, in terms of government, is the local government system. During the native authority, it has been in existence before the amalgamation of Nigeria. And when the colonial master came, they didn't abolish it. They improved on it. Yes.
My question really is about its autonomy.
Yes.
Why is it so important for local governments to be autonomous?
Yes. If we don't go back
financially, especially.
If we don't go back to the history, we may not be getting it right. That's why I'm putting it in clear perspective. If we had this so good in the past, when local government was able to tar roads and also trying to make sure they stem state of insecurity, because before the gradual depletion of the powers and function of local government, we haven't gotten it bad like this, where we have terrorism, we have banditry, we have Boko Haram, we have insurgency everywhere. How did local government used to do it?
At what point did local governments stop being that effective?
Yes. By 1999 Constitution, there was a lacuna in 1999 Constitution under Section 7, 1, A and B. The first one it says, which was even very good, is guaranteeing democratic system of government in local government level. But because of the greed, the over-domineering power and lust for power by the state political elite, by the governors and the actors in the state level, they decided to seize local government political autonomy. They dissolved democratically elected political leaders in local government and imposed on the local government their cronies, who are their surrogates, as chairmen of caretaker committees and administrators. And by that implication, since those people do not enjoy the mandate of the people, they are no longer accountable to the people. And people lost interest in our democracy. That is the first one. And what they now did is, even in area that they say they are conducting election, what we are witnessing is charade. What we are witnessing is what we tag appointment, promotion, and coronation.
We've identified how effective the local governments were in the past. We've talked about when it went wrong and what are the problems. So we've identified what the issue is. You're coming now to say that we are going to ensure that local governments have autonomy. How are you going to do that?
After our public rally sensitization here and there, the 8th National Assembly passed a bill guaranteeing local government autonomy. And that was as a result of referendum conducted. At the referendum at the zonal level, across the country, over 90% of participants, Nigerians, voted for local government autonomy. And even the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, affirmed openly that it's going to ensure local government is granted full autonomy.
So what's the challenge?
Now, when we did that, the bill was transmitted to the State House of Assembly. Only 9 of them passed it, 2 voted against it, and the majority, they abandoned it. They discontinued the debate. That's why we are at this level again. And don't forget, around that time too, the bill for autonomy of the state judiciary and the parliamentary was also given that approval. But surprisingly, even at the parliament level, in the state level, they even declared to grant themselves autonomy.
That's actually the next question I had for you. When it comes to the state level, financial autonomy for the judiciary, does it exist in any state in this country?
You can't say it exists. But you see, interestingly, we are not getting it right. We have different arms of government. If we say judiciary, the executive, legislative, and judiciary, they exist. What we need to do is that who should be responsible for funding judiciary?
Well, the state governments actually committed. They committed to implementing financial autonomy for state judiciary.
Level, saying is different from doing.
So you don't trust
we don't. So with our experience in local government, we know that, like for example, when we nearly actualized local government autonomy, the federal government brought in NFIU, which is a financial intelligence unit, to control the funding in local government. These people, through the back door, go back to court and they stall the performance of NFIU. So, you know, because they have enjoyed this power, enormous power, it will be difficult until Labour really ensure that the agreement they are going to sign with them should be expressly stated. Not that they make a pronouncement, Forum of Governors make a pronouncement. No, that is political. For us in Labour, we want to see a written document, clearly stipulated terms of agreement. And until we are able to do that, all this saying, we don't believe it in Labour. Because we have experience we know have governors who choose to disobey court order.
There's a bill asking that local governments be delisted from the constitution.
Yes. The National Assembly need to be careful so that their name is not dragged into the mud. If democracy and the people own the sovereignty of democracy, people decided they want autonomy. Is Bob Solomon billing just a reflection of the wishes of his people? And no federal government, no unitary system of government can meet the political need and aspiration of the people. So at that level, you need an inclusive government at lower level, whereby people will have a platform to be involved in democracy.
So so that we can be clear, you do not think that the local governments in Nigeria right now are effective?
Yes, because they are resources.
Yes, they are effective.
Yeah, they are not effective. They are castrated as a result of criminal diversion, pilfering, and outright stealing of local government fund by state actors using the jack, which is a lacuna in the constitution. The dream of the founding fathers is clear, that let us have a pool of fund under joint account allocation committee. When you look at the constitution section 7, it says appropriation of public funds to local government should be through jack, which will be legislated by the state houses of assembly. But instead of them bringing, the law says you bring federal allocation meant for local government into that pool. You also calculate 10% of IGR by every state. You put it in that pool of fund and you redistribute to local government equally. Now, instead of them doing that, they are not even contributing one naira. What they do is to even pilfer the local government fund.
We're going to have to end it there. Thank you so much, Comrade Olatunji, for being with us on Dateline.
My pleasure.
What makes the Wulomo community so pathetic is how close it is to the seat of power. I mean, not only is it located in the Abuja Municipal Area Council, but it's also close to the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, which means that anyone, including the president, who lands there has seen this area. We do hope the FCT authorities investigate the plight of Wulomo and take necessary action soon. That's our show this week. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screen. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Magwa. See you next time.